So this is part 4 on how to join the elite. And on this episode, on this part, I want to emphasize to all you men out there who have lowered your standards. You feel as if you don't deserve the best. You feel as if you can't get the best. Or you feel as if you would have to trick in order to get the best. And I will salute you guys who refuse to trick in order to get women, which makes you guys slightly better than the tricks and simps out there who aren't willing to compromise on your integrity nor sacrifice your money. But instead, I find a lot of you guys who have this integrity and discipline to lower your standards nonetheless. And I'm here to tell you guys that lowering your standards, one, hurts all men, and two, it ultimately hurts yourself. Mainly psychologically and mentally. I know a lot of you guys will state that let's use an example for black men. A lot of black men claim that they like a girl with a big ass though. I like girl with curves. I don't want a girl with meat on her bones. But a lot of these Negroes, these mediocre Negroes, will use this as an excuse to state or to justify them dating fat women. And stuff like that pisses me off to no end, because that lowers the standard for all black men down to the point in which you got a bunch of fat women flocking to us thinking that black men will accept whatever. When they come to me, however, no, I'm not going to even go there. But you get the point. Lowering your standards hurts yourself. Lowering your standards causes low self-confidence and low self-esteem among men. And I know a lot of men who have a lot of low self-esteem tend to get it early because of what their female peers stated, what their female family members said, or even sometimes their mothers. And I know I've spoken about that earlier, about how certain women will talk down on certain men who don't fit a stereotype. But a lot of men carry what females have stated to them, females who, quite frankly, don't know shit about life have stated, or much less about men, have stated to young boys. And I'm here to tell you guys to not lower down your standards, especially if you are currently working on yourself. If you are a man who is making good money, if you're a man who goes to the gym often, if you're a man who has a reasonable BMI index, whether you're thin, whether you're in shape, whether it's whatever. If you're a man who has stayed out of the justice system and don't have a record, you have no excuse for having these low standards. Just because a society full of people who, if they were anywhere else in their sphere, wouldn't get chicks if their lives have been on it, are telling you that women of this race and women of that race, or at least the good ones, don't want to deal with black men? Fuck them. These guys, and it's not just the guys themselves, it is a media. It's a media frenzy, I would say. And some people can say it's conspiracy. You know what? At this point, I'm not going to even argue with that. But there's a narrative out here that is telling, well, now all men. Now all men, but at one point it was mainly black men, that the only thing you can look forward to is a hood rat, a has-been hoe, or some fat broad. Now all men are being told this. And, for a lot of the men out there who are being told this and are falling for the okie doke, I don't feel sorry for them, because these were probably the same men who were jumping along that bandwagon when it was just aimed towards black men, when that message was aimed just towards black men. Now a lot of these guys are all of a sudden now doing the feminist strategy and going MGTOW, and as if that's going to change anything. Instead of hiding from the problem, instead of running away from the problem, how about you fight the problem? How about you stand up to the problem? How about you change the problem like your forefathers did in the past? Whenever freaking 50-cent tax 2 centuries ago incited a war. And we're facing things a lot worse. Particularly the other half of our species rebelling against us because they're buying into feminism. Well, not even feminism, just this extremist kind of feminism. And men would sit down and say, "Oh, we're just gonna opt out. No, we're gonna opt out. No, I'm good. Instead of fighting for my video isn't for them. And you wonder why I have this much respect for MGTOW. But tangent aside, if you take the principles that I've stated in past lessons, and will state in future lessons, you will see the caliber of women that you attract go up in quality and in quantity. The thing that you all have to remember is that, one, a lot of you are focusing on women as the end-all be-all of life. And a lot of you out there are just concerned with how women will perceive you and how women will treat you, how women will see you. Well, quite frankly, there was a time before feminism that it was the opposite way around. Women were seeking men. And historically, it's always been like that to an extent. Women seeking men. Men were minding their own business, practicing up and honing on their skills, whether it was hunting or fighting or some sort of skill, some sort of labor-intensive based skill, which brought the development of civilizations. Women took note, and they chose the men that they were interested in. Men didn't have to worry about running around and having game, and having swag, and you got to do this and this and this, and PUA guys from their mom's basement telling men how you're fucking up and how you're not alpha, and if she did this, she was flaky, how it was your fault. We didn't have that crap historically. And that's not how society is supposed to be. Men are supposed to use their hours that they are up in order to build societies and provide, even if it's just for themselves. Not to do fucking night game and day game and hours of online game and pick up this, pick up sticks, pick up shits. Time to play the game. Enough. That is a waste of capital, and that is a waste. Well, that's a waste of time, but it's also a waste of capital that could be used in order to boost the capital of any country. But apparently, governments don't get it. They don't realize that, hey, if you want to boost your capital, boost your GDP rates up, you may want to instill traditional laws which allow men to focus on working instead of chasing. But anyway, but to a lot of you men out there who are concerned, who feel relegated to just dating single mothers, fat chicks, bust downs, has-beens, 1989 BMWs, listen. It's a simple solution that a lot of you guys need. Or it's a simple solution. It is a simple solution, I should say. Focus on yourself. Whether it's making money, whether it's losing weight, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's or whether it's just meditating and thinking about your life, whether it's going back to school or going to school, whether it's some sort of skill or discipline, like martial arts, or playing some sort of instrument. I know I'm naming random things, but a lot of these things are much better than you having to worry about if you can attract some sort of chick at the expense of your dignity. Instead of wasting 3 to 6 hours every week going to the club and picking up on hoes just to get this, and then ending up having to resort to pick up the one chick that you weren't hollering at, or you didn't want to holler at, and ended up shrugging your shoulders, lest you ended up being empty for the night, having nothing to show for it. Use those times, those precious hours in the late night, to improve yourself, to focus on yourself, to do for yourself, to do for self. Don't worry about quantity, because quite frankly, anyone can pick up any sort of chick if they're really looking. I'm not just talking about prostitution or pay for play or excessive tricking. Anyone can pick up any sort of chick, but it's the quality of chicks. And ultimately, it's the retention rate, which I'll emphasize on in another part of the series. So, for all you men out there who feel as if you need to lower your standards, that internally shows that you believe that you are not good yourself. So whatever you are not good with yourself on, improve it, change it. If it's something negative, get rid of it. If it's weight, like a lot of you guys who talk about dating big girls, lose it yourself. Put yourself in another league and put yourself in another position where you can be one step closer to being elite. Everyone else out there, always bet on X.